Hey, guess who's back talking about some of those spooky internet stories no one else remembered? We got a good combination of video game, cringe, and shit that's been sitting in the recesses of my mind for like 7 years now. So if I open any repressed memories at CreepyPasta's or your cringy teenage self, first off, I'm sorry. And second off, if I talk about your story and you don't like what I say, just remember I'm talking about a 6+ year old story, and I'm sure you've improved since then. So please don't take it to heart. But tell me about those repressed memories, because I'm running out of stories, and I want to keep this series going. It's actually a lot of fun to do. And we're going to start off with a classic Mr. Widemouth. I'm sure you remember it. There was some pretty neat fan art made, and it was a short, simple story about some dude remembering the fever dream of his fucked up imaginary friend while he was sick, trying to get him to do more and more dangerous things, like jumping out of a second-story window, juggling with some knives, some light-hearted activities, and even telling him about a spooky path in the woods that the author eventually just decides to leave wherever he lives to drive back to this old house and go explore. He finds out it leads to a cemetery full of kids' graves. I mean, I'm sure we've all been there with our imaginary friends. It happens. Looking back, this story is The idea is good, and it's not terribly written, but I don't know. My dumbass would have fallen for this thing at 5. Hell, I'd probably fall for it now. So to think anyone else wouldn't is really far-fetched to me. I'd probably be more accepting of it if the kid was like, I don't know, 7 or 8? A little older, a little smarter. Actually able to pull off a Fortnite dub. Fuck, are kids still into Fortnite? And as for Mr. Widemouth, yeah, he's described in the story itself as looking like a Furby. Small, furry dude. But I always pictured him as like the bastard love child of Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas, Pyramid Head, and Dexter's imaginary friend that I can't remember the name of. I don't know. I honestly don't remember the story describing him, so that's the picture I've painted in my mind all these years. And it still stands as that. So sue me. But you know what you can't sue me for, but you could probably squeeze a couple bucks out of Nintendo for? That's right, not putting Luigi in Mario 64. Nah, I'm kidding. It's the Lavendertown syndrome. Now I gotta be upfront and honest before I talk about this. I was never a Pokemon kid. My brother and I were way more into Yu-Gi-Oh! As children. I guess you could say we were more concerned about having the heart of the cards over gym badges, and Pokemon weren't nearly as badass looking. I mean, look at this little guy. Terrifying beast, that's what he is. Kick the ass out of a Charizard. But we all know the story is the original Japanese release of Pokemon Red and Blue, that the frequency of the music in Lavendertown caused kids to take long sleeps. And while the story isn't really scary, it was my first time hearing the Lavendertown music. So I now associate it with horror and kids sleeping for a long time. So it was effective in that fact. I don't like this melody. It creeps me out. I can't listen to it for more than, I don't know, like 10 seconds. Hell, making this with the music in the background was actually pretty difficult. But I feel like most people ignore the unknown, whatever they are. Oh wait, never mind, I just found out they're a type of Pokemon. Being in the audio wave files, which I'm sure somebody who knows more about Pokemon lore could explain the significance of that to the overall story, theory, legend, I don't know. But it's a 2 out of 10 of making no fucking sense when you think about it. But overall effectiveness, 30 out of 5. I still don't like the 8-bit tune, and people have built a whole cinematic universe around this idea. So we're moving on to the Smiling Man. He's a big old smiley boy. He just smiles and smiles. And man, is this story still creepy. It's about a person, I assume a woman, but it could be really anyone, taking a walk in the city at night and running into a creepy ass dude dancing in the street who begins to follow them. Nothing demonic, no spooky ghosties or possession, just a creepy dude following someone at night. Now I live in a city, but I'm not from a city. I'm from bumfuck nowhere, Kentucky, and I can tell you, people are both weird and creepy in the fucking city. It's a night and day difference. I don't like going out at night because people like this are fucking real, and I don't want to risk that. I didn't expect any of these stories to age well, but holy hell did this age well. This is a 10 out of 10, like, story of the year, even though it's from, like, 2009. Fuck, now I don't want to walk the half a block it takes me to get home from work tonight. But hey, you want to know another story that hits close to home since, it's a legend from bumfuck middle of nowhere town? The Clifton Bunny Man. A typical small town urban legend story, which, by the way, this is a real bridge in a real town. And a real legend from that town. And yeah, it's nothing more than a story, but it's got that nostalgia for me. We had our own legends like this. Like, we have the portal to hell near my hometown, and a hotel said to be haunted that you can see fire inside of on a full moon. And you know, Waverly Hills Sanatorium was like 45 minutes away. That's a whole other, like, paranormal rabbit hole. Go check that out. I mean, just the drive up to that place is creepy. So this story just reminds me of all the small town urban legends I'd hear growing up. Not to mention the stories I heard about Amboy and all the legends when I was in Washington. So it's got a nostalgia kick for me. But enough about that. Let's talk about a Jeff the Killer ripoff. Because those are popular and you know what I remember being the first of them? It was Eyeless Jack. Well, the first image that came with this spooky spaghetti is pretty creepy. This story is just shit. It's poorly written and bad. I kid you not, the line, "You somehow lost your kidney last night. We don't know how, though," is in this story. And also, why would his brother's corpse still be there? Would the cops or EMTs not pick up the body? Otherwise, how would the doctor have known his brother died? Or would they have found him in the woods that morning? It don't make no sense. Just the whole thing is terrible and not creepy at all. And don't get me started with the brothers not seeing each other since they were 10, but their parents are still together. When you start thinking, nothing adds up here. And it's actually comically bad. If I didn't know any better, I'd say this is a shitpost. Just, why was this story popular? It belongs in the dumpster with Sonic.exe and Slenderman fan art. Whoever said they unironically enjoyed this tale should be ashamed. Just burn it to the ground. All of it. It's
many hours of ranting about Eyeless Jack later.
And furthermore, the separation of Rome into two empires was a huge mistake that ultimately led to the death of Harambe, which we all know is the flashpoint that has caused the shitstorm that has been the last 5 years. I mean, okay, now that I've finished that tangent, let's just talk about the last story for today. The Willow Man, which is actually one of the first haunted lasagnas I ever read. The story is about a dude who brutally, makes his wife take a nap with a knife and a frying pan. And in doing so, summons the Willow Man, a group of strange forest creatures that attack bad people who do bad things. While the story is short and sweet, most of it is just the guy sitting in his kitchen rambling, waiting for the Willow Man. I think the fact that it's written in the first person perspective kind of doesn't help it either, since the dude has something involving a tree happen to him. And in the end, I'm not 100% sure, but it does leave the want for more. And the idea is a good one. It leaves questions like, what if I kill in self-defense? Do they go after kids who steal pieces of candy from the grocery store? Has there ever been a case of mistaken identity with the Willow Man? These are the questions that need answers. Bring on the Willow Man 2, Birchwood's Descent. Yeah, that works. Or how about the Willow Man 2, They Don't Pity the Fool. Yo, someone start writing this stuff down. I'm on a roll right now. Alright, I think that's gonna do it for this one. Just a quick little update before we hit the outro. I've gotten a pretty big spike in viewers and subscribers over the last, week or so. And yeah, it's not, a huge amount. It's not in the thousands. But it's a lot to me, and I can't thank everyone enough for taking the time out of their day to listen to me ramble. I mean, it means a whole lot, to me. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. And I've really been thinking a lot about the future of the channel, and again, yeah, it's small. We're the little dude. But you still gotta plan ahead. I believe in being transparent with whoever decides to spend their time watching my stuff. And the fucking Air Force is flying around outside like they own the goddamn place. With whoever decides to spend their time watching my stuff. And I wanted to let you know that I noticed that I really enjoyed researching and making the videos like Amboy, Shrek, and this one way more than I enjoyed doing the movie review videos. So I'm more than likely gonna try to change the course of the channel to more weird, bizarre-ish stuff. Not really scary real-life horror things like you would see in a true crime channel, but just weird shit on the internet, if that makes sense. And by all means, if anyone finds a movie that they want me to talk about, or I find one that I think would turn into a decent video, I'm definitely going to talk about that Nick Cage FNAF movie that's coming out. Let me know if you see something, and I'll see if I can work with it. But the reviews are going to become less frequent in favor of more obscure stuff. I hope y'all understand and are happy with this change. And with that being said, the social media stuff, I am on Twitter. Obligatory button pushes. I love y'all. Bye-bye.